Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Real Men Outdoor YouTube channel. Hopefully, if you clicked into this video, that means that you got your target buck and you're just looking for the next step in preserving your trophy so you can enjoy it for years to come. The way I do my deer heads is super simple. All you need is 4 things, and that's if you already have a turkey cooker ready to rock and roll. The supplies I use is simple. I like to get it locally, just in case I need to do a European mount quickly, whether if it's mine or friends. As far as materials go that I use in this process, it's super simple. You're gonna need a box of borax soap, Dawn dish soap, a 1-inch wide little paintbrush, and a box of the lightest colored bleaching agent in the hairdressing aisle that you can get. This process that I do only has about 20 minutes of actual hands-on work that you're going to be touching and messing with this skull. I typically do it during work hours. I show up a little bit early. I put my deer head in the pot. Make sure you wrap up your bases. When these deer are out there rubbing, I like to leave that trash and kind of that tree bark on my antlers. Just gives it that little bit of extra character. So I always wrap those up. Next step, you're going to go ahead and put this thing in the pot, fire that joker up. You just want to simmer. You don't want a hard rolling boil on this. It tends to make the bone a little bit brittle. So I like to just do a nice even simmer. And then once your deer head is in, you're going to go ahead and put your borax in, about 1/4 of a box to 1/3. Go ahead and sprinkle that in on it, around it, it doesn't matter. Just make sure it gets in the pot, in the water. Then you're going to go ahead and add a little bit of Dawn dish soap to that. All right, fast forward. You've checked it periodically just to make sure, because that water's simmering and it's evaporating off. You always want to make sure that your skull is totally submerged. So 4 hours went by, you're going to go ahead and pull this thing out. You'll know it's ready because the tissue is going to start peeling up, kind of like you're making a roast in the crock pot. Once it's doing that, you're going to go ahead and take that out. You're going to put it on a pallet or a piece of plywood, and you're going to power wash as much of that junk off as you can. Once that's done, it's going back in the pot. That's when I add a little bit more Dawn dish soap, a little bit more borax, and I walk away for 4 more hours. Making sure to periodically check it to make sure that water's not evaporating off, because I always want this skull to be submerged. You're coming out for the second and last wash. You're gonna go ahead and pull that back out of the pot. You're gonna set it on your pallet. You're gonna power wash the rest of the trash off, and you're gonna go ahead and that's when you inspect it and make sure you get all the flesh out of every little nook and cranny, making sure that this thing is really clean, because you would hate to hang this up in your house and your house start reeking. So once we know that this thing's clean, we've looked at every little nook and cranny, we're gonna go ahead and let that skull completely dry off. And the bone is hot, so it's not gonna take that long, maybe 10 minutes. Once it's dry, you're gonna go ahead and pull out your Walmart bleaching agent and your paintbrush. You're gonna mix that up, read the instructions. Most of them, you will not use the conditioner or the shampoo. Go ahead and throw that in the trash. You're gonna mix up the bleaching agent and take your brush and real gently make sure you do not get any of that bleaching agent on the horn itself. You go right up to the base, just underneath. Do not get it on any of the color on the antler, because it will make it absolutely white. There's different colors, there's white and there's blue. Typically the stuff that you're getting from Walmart, it's blue, which is actually kind of handy sometimes, because you know if you're getting it in every little nook and cranny on the deer. If you end up getting the blue bleaching agent, it adds probably an extra 10 minutes worth of hands-on work as far as when it's time to take it off. Once I get my bleaching agent on the skull itself, I set it aside and I let it sit for 24 hours. Once 24 hours is up, I go ahead and take this thing, I put it in the sink, and I use the same brush that I applied the bleach with to slowly rinse and wipe it off, because you're gonna want that brush to get scrubbed in all those little nooks and crannies. It just helps clean the skull up, and like I said, if it's blue, it's gonna add a little bit more time. Once you get your skull completely clean from the bleaching agent, you're gonna go ahead and set it off to the side and let the bone dry out, and that's when you can go ahead and take your tag off the horns or out of the drawer, wherever it was. You roll it up, and I like to stick it right in the back of my brain hole right here. Typically on a whitetail, you're gonna need 1 box of the bleaching agent. If you're doing an elk, it's gonna take 2 boxes. So just keep that in mind if you're preparing to do a couple of skull mounts. Typically, you know, if I got 3 whitetails to do, I'm gonna get 3 boxes of bleaching agent. If I got an elk to do, I'm gonna get 2 boxes for that elk. Cost of this project, I've got $15 wrapped up in this skull mount, and it turned out absolutely great. I've done this for a long time, and I know a couple other guys, they do it this way, and you couldn't be more happy. Hopefully if you guys are watching this right now, that means that you got your target buck on the ground, and if not, good luck to you. I hope you get him. Write me in the comments, send me pictures. I'd love to hear from you. Y'all take it easy, and I'll see you in the woods.